This man never expected that while others who traveled to another world gained overpowered skills and beautiful girls forming their harem, he would be the one to get the worst luck, becoming a farmer with no useful abilities at all. Not only did he start off with no usable skill, but even his starter weapon shattered immediately. To make matters worse, the girl he had admired for so long, Xiaohua, ended up dead on the very first day. But in truth, Xiaohua had actually been the first to transmigrate to this world, and with each mission completed, she gained a new companion, this man being the third one to arrive. When he first laid eyes on Xiaohua in the new world, he thought he was about to live the dream, marry a rich beauty and reach the peak of life. But in the very next second, a twisted man with only half a head suddenly appeared and scared the life out of him. This half-headed weirdo was actually the game world's manager, in charge of issuing missions and distributing cheat skills. The new mission was to complete a request from the village chief. Just as he finished speaking, a roulette wheel with countless powerful job classes started spinning, and our unlucky guy managed to land the super, ultra, mega rare job, farmer. This role was so useless in the world that the admin had set its draw rate to 1 in 10,000, yet he still hit it. Upon inspecting the details, he found he had no active skills and only 2 tools, a sickle and a shovel. Thinking he was doomed to farm for the rest of his life, he suddenly stumbled upon a group of goblins. These were textbook-level beginner monsters, so the man boldly pulled out his sickle and charged at them, only for the sickle to snap instantly. Feeling helpless, he turned to Xiaohua for help. And then, the sickle only moves air, because my level is low, that's just how it is. What even is that? But the sickle is so scary. Ow, 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 ow. This isn't how it's supposed to work. It's over. This can't be. Only the original user can use the assigned weapon. This game is so unfair. Seeing both teammates were basically useless, the man summoned his shovel and charged again. As expected, the shovel also snapped, and he got hit in the head with a club. Turns out, as long as one person survives, the rest can revive after 30 seconds. But if everyone dies, they die in real life too. That's how the game works. So the man came up with a crazy plan. Trade his life to kill the goblins. It worked. The 3 of them barely survived and became bonded through life and death. That night, the 3 chatted together. Xiaohua told him that for every mission completed, you could ask the manager one question. Her first question had been, "Why did you choose me?" The answer was, "A mutual acquaintance of yours requested it." Her second question was, "Who are you?" The answer was, "We're people from the future." Still totally lost, the man decided to patrol the area, but not long after, he heard Xiaohua screaming for help. He rushed back to the meeting point, only to see Duan Mao's body half gone and Xiaohua being swallowed whole. Knowing he couldn't defeat the monster with a stick, he grabbed Duan Mao and fled. They managed to escape, but Duan Mao lost his left arm for good, and Xiaohua didn't revive. Turns out, in a death trap situation, the revive system doesn't trigger. With their power levels, they had no chance of defeating the monster. The only hope was to complete the village chief's request and clear the game, to bring Xiaohua back to the real world. So the two made their way to a small village and finally found the chief, but his request crushed all hope. The task was to eliminate the monster. It had to happen. So the man told Duan Mao to stay behind while he went to level up. He believed that if he worked hard enough and reached level 100, even a farmer could kill the beast. But the monster didn't give him time to train. It attacked the backyard again. Left alone, the man also lost his infinite revive ability. How could he fight a giant monster with just a wooden stick? Just when things looked hopeless, he happened upon an injured goblin. An idea sparked. He shouted, "Step, step," and stabbed the goblin with a bundle of sticks. Miraculously, he leveled up to 10 instantly, and the flying beast froze mid-air. The half-headed freak returned and spun the class roulette again. The man thought this was it. He'd finally marry Xiaohua and rise to glory. But the pointer stopped at chef. A massive dark cloud loomed over him. This world was clearly cursed, yet there was a silver lining. Chefs could use a fruit knife, and his talent skill was seeing the inner structure of animals. As the admin vanished, time resumed. During the previous chase, the man had already observed the beast's attack patterns. If he ran in the opposite direction right at the moment of the attack, he could dodge it. With his revive power restored, he finally defeated the monster. The man never thought that the first time he stepped into the women's restroom, something like this would happen. What the heck? The scene was steamy and intense, so much smoke and heat. The man couldn't help but want to check what was on the girl's phone, but then it hit him. The girl being bullied was going to be their next teammate. If that video got out, she might end her life. So he jumped into action and started a mission to smash the phone. Wait, give it back! Maybe it was some hidden clue. Great, just then, the man received a call from the other world, telling him to head to the women's restroom to save their new teammate. That's when he saw the bullying scene. The girl with glasses then explained everything. She and the other girls were all streamers. During a live stream, she had talked trash about them, which led to real-world stalking and bullying. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she explained. The man, meanwhile, was more focused on whether the mission was a success. A few days later, he was summoned to the other world again for the next mission. As expected, the girl with glasses became the 4th member of their team after completing the 4th mission, and her new job was revealed to be a heat mage. The next task was to explore 5% of the map and escort a shipment to a place called Radodebo. After the game manager vanished, the main character introduced the glasses girl to the team, but she had a completely different story to tell, leaving the main character utterly speechless. He had never imagined that saving someone kindly would instead get him blamed and pushed aside by his own teammate. In truth, the glasses girl had made peace with her bullies and was now using the main character as a shared enemy to bond with them. Xiaohua, understanding the dynamics, commented that since they had to deal with those people often, it made sense. But just as those words left her mouth, a giant insect corpse came crashing from the distance, and a huge centipede crawled out of it, spitting out a larva that killed the main character on the spot. Their useless teammates could only act as distractions, and while the man waited for his revival, to his surprise, the glasses girl actually stepped up. He was overjoyed, finally a reliable teammate, but her skill turned out to be something like increasing the temperature within a 10-centimeter range by 20 degrees. Barely better than a hairdryer. Her magic was so weak it couldn't even push air properly. Then came the swordswoman who couldn't even lift a normal sword, and she gained a decorative vase skill, and the heat mage who was weaker than a lighter. They realized they couldn't rely on others and had to depend on the main character again. As poisonous ants and spiders appeared, and someone screamed, "That kind of atmosphere doesn't exist in my body," followed by shouts of pain. "Ah, my leg will break," and gasps of exhaustion. "I'm so tired. How do we beat this thing?" Someone said, "There's something I want to try," then called out to a doctor. "What?" someone asked. "I thought the long blade can't be held by hand, but look, got it. 3, 2, 1, just like that. 3, move a bit forward. 2, 1. Meanwhile, a group of mountain bandits never expected that the so-called mighty heroes from another world would be so hilariously weak. With just a little effort, they captured all 3 female warriors. Because in this world, attacking the locals led to penalties like reduced experience. But the issue wasn't even about experience points. Their abilities were just plain garbage. A wind mage weaker than a fan, a heat mage weaker than a lighter, and a warrior who couldn't lift a sword. Thankfully, heroes had infinite resurrection powers, so the bandits couldn't kill them and just locked them up to wait for ransom. At the same time, the main character was headed toward the nearest kingdom to join a martial arts tournament. The reason? Their current mission had a 35-day time limit to escort goods to Radodebo, but the journey actually took 3 months. Conveniently, the tournament's grand prize was 3 strong horses. Although he had first become a farmer and then a chef, the boost in basic stats had already made him stronger than ordinary people. He fought monsters along the way and leveled up, eventually getting a 3rd job change, this time to biomage. His new skill could slow the metabolism of any living creature he touched with his finger, boost his charisma a bit, and reduce something. What's the point of that? Does it mean I'm becoming less solid? Just when the tournament was about to start, his job changed again, this time to something like a plant druid, which made his already weak status even more pathetic. 3 job changes later, he was still a hopeless loser, and the winner of the tournament, Knight Kahabal. Wow, whoa, amazing! Ended in 5 seconds. The hero is back, so strong. When the main character revived, Knight Kahabal was strangely excited to see him. He explained his current situation and hoped to work and earn some money, but only defeating a high-level monster could earn a suitable reward. Sadly, there weren't any such monsters nearby. Seizing the moment, the main character proposed hunting down mountain bandits instead. Cut to, the 3 captured heroines were being held in prison, while the bandits smirked menacingly, unaware that a large force of city guards was already quietly surrounding them. A nighttime ambush crushed the bandits like dry leaves. In desperation, the bandits unleashed a berserker, a mindless beast with a shield. One strike shattered Kahabal's shield, but instead of fear, she grew more and more excited. "Let me do it! I'm alive! 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 Alive!" she shouted. "So even though I'm a noble woman, I chose to lead during a national crisis because I wanted to cut into real flesh. Now that I've found someone I can cut, this is thrilling. Impossible to find meat like this. I'm so happy I could die. Perfect. No, she's doing this on purpose. I mean, she's got such a massive figure." Although Knight Kahabal was powerful, the berserker was even stronger. At the crucial moment, memories of various skills flashed through the main character's mind. He shouted out a newly acquired one, "Torturous Persuasion," and yelled, "Your mom's behind you!" The berserker turned around in confusion. The skill failed, and Kahabal used her deadly move, a single arrow to the throat. With the battle over, the main character reunited with the 3 girls. Kahabal made a suggestion. She and her soldiers could take extended leave to help escort the team to Radodebo. The reward? She wanted the right to teach swordsmanship to the 4 of them. After all, heroes with infinite revival were perfect students for her brutal techniques. With Kahabal joining the team, the journey to Radodebo began smoothly. The main character's job finally became useful. Just by cooking meals for the team, he could gain experience. Meanwhile, the 3 weak teammates had to deal with goblins. For Duan Mao, his first time stabbing one was horrifying. The hardness of the muscles, the way each active muscle fiber was sliced from the tip of the blade, separating into lifeless meat in an instant. This is what it felt like to swing a sword down in one clean motion. That sensation, it was the best. On their journey, the team came across a caravan under attack by monsters. The main character thought the mission was time-sensitive and didn't want to waste time helping strangers. But Duan Mao insisted on saving the civilians, saying if no one else would help, he'd go alone. His conviction shocked everyone, but then the main character realized the mission was to escort goods to Radodebo, and this caravan might actually be the shipment they needed. He decided to split the team. He and Duan Mao would rescue the caravan while the others continued ahead. These monsters were far stronger than goblins, but their suicidal tactic, 10 lives traded for 1, worked again. With the monster charging directly at the longsword and Kahabal providing support, they successfully defeated all the monsters. After speaking with the caravan, they confirmed it was indeed headed to Radodebo and might be connected to the mission. However, the caravan belonged to the soldiers of the Kingdom of Diog, sent by the king to transfer heretics to Radodebo for public execution. The main character now found himself wondering, what exactly were they escorting? A death sentence? Pregnancy? A child? What was going on? Were these goods actually people? But one thing was clear, if they delivered them to Radodebo, both the people and the child would definitely be killed. And if anyone dared to attack humans, but if humans died as a result of their actions, that was still acceptable. But was this really part of the mission? Or just a cover for something much darker? The man couldn't tell anymore. He thought to himself, this must be the cruelest kingdom he had ever seen. They used the excuse of improving citizens' lives to launch dozens of wars every year, just to gain more colonies. Every soldier who died in war meant their family would be rewarded with a slave. Because of that, countless men willingly joined the army, taking pride in conquering foreign lands, and anyone who opposed them was labeled a heretic, captured, or slaughtered. It was during this mission that the main character crossed paths with this kingdom's soldiers, who were also headed to Radodebo. But while his team's mission was escorting cargo, the army's real purpose was to publicly execute heretics as a warning. During a conversation with the soldiers, the team slowly realized how deeply brainwashed they were. They truly believed that enslaving small countries was a way to help the weak. The main character and his fellow transmigrators, of course, didn't agree with such logic, but facing so many soldiers, he saw no point in starting a fight. Just then, the girl with glasses lost her temper and accused the soldiers, saying conquering smaller nations was just another form of bullying, and people from other countries weren't their slaves. This enraged the soldiers, and they were about to draw their swords to kill them on the spot. To avoid conflict, the main character reluctantly agreed with their reasoning, saying, well, maybe the king isn't wrong after all. Only then did the soldiers back down. 2.5 days later, they reached a mountain range. To pass quickly, the soldiers led them to a hidden shortcut, an ancient cave built by a civilization 1,000 years ago, filled with deadly traps. But with the soldiers guiding the way, it could be crossed safely. In order to complete the mission on time, the team agreed to enter. But due to the earlier argument, the soldiers had already decided that the team were heretics too. As soon as they stepped in, traps were triggered and everyone was locked in. However, what the soldiers didn't expect was that these traps were far too simple for the transmigrators. By turning stone pillars according to the codes carved on the wall, they managed to pass through. Though some mishaps occurred, everyone made it through by calculating together, except the main character, who fell into a separate trap and got separated. As the team exited the cave, they found themselves in a huge arena. As ancient mechanisms began to move, a creature sealed for 1,000 years started to awaken. Swarms of vampire bats attacked first. Without the main character's leadership, the team struggled even to defend themselves. Then a gargoyle launched a fierce strike, and just as one of them muttered, "You really are the most strategic among us," the stone creature struck with massive force, instantly impaling the female knight. No one could believe that the incredibly strong knight Kahabal couldn't even last 5 seconds. Her blood turned the entire water surface red. A huge wave of fear swept through them. Kahabal was dead. It couldn't be. Time suddenly froze. The gargoyle stopped in place. It turned out Xiaohua had crushed a bat and reached level 10, earning a chance to change her class. The half-headed weirdo popped up again. Level 10 class change roulette, full magic release, but it was too late. Just a few more seconds. If only it had been faster, Kahabal would have survived. The admin hit the revive button, and the moment time resumed, the only hope was if enemies were close enough to trigger the revival jump. Though they had a golden opportunity, the newly changed swordswoman couldn't even scratch the gargoyle. That's when Xiaohua remembered Kahabel's training. If they wanted to close the power gap between men and women, they needed to find a one-hit kill strategy. Just as the battle ended, the main character arrived barely in time. He didn't fight, but he was right on time to save the day. He leapt into the water and pulled Kahabel out using his new skill to boost cell regeneration. He dragged her back from the grip of death, but it drained him, and he passed out from exhaustion. When he woke up, he found himself accused of having an affair, of stealing a kiss. Kahabel, a bit embarrassed, asked, "Is anyone here dating him?" When everyone said no, she explained that the main character had the kind of desperate, reckless spirit she admired. Someone who didn't even know who he truly was or how far he could go, or what his life mission really meant, but still gave it everything. That was why she chose to protect him. Of course, the bigger reason was that she could slice meat. With only 7 days left until the mission deadline, the main character finally woke up from his coma. During those days, he'd thought deeply. Each mission description was vague. For example, the third mission just said to complete the village chief's request, but didn't specify which village. The second mission was to find 2 villages, but not which ones. Now, the fourth mission was to escort goods to Radodobo, but didn't say what goods or to whom. So maybe anything could count as the shipment. But the most shocking betrayal was yet to come. The very army he had saved turned against him. Just because he was a transmigrated hero who didn't support their colonizing ways, they lured him into a trap-filled cave. Thankfully, heroes couldn't die permanently, and he escaped. It was time to plan revenge. The glasses girl's eyes gleamed with cold calculation. The knight joined the main character to take revenge on the Dayak Kingdom soldiers, while the rest went ahead to Radodobo to finish the mission. According to Kahabel, the soldiers had regular contact with their kingdom, and the hero betrayal might already have been reported. If all the heroes were killed and communication was lost, it could be seen as a declaration of war. So the plan was clear. Wait until the soldiers sent their next report, then strike. Once decided, the main character boldly approached the soldiers and offered a deal. The bargaining chip was a map involving the 3 captives. If they refused, then this undying hero would travel the world spreading the truth. He gave them one night to consider, but this wasn't a deal. It was a pure threat. After he left, the soldiers grew angrier and angrier. That's when the glasses girl suddenly returned, telling the soldiers that although the hero could revive infinitely, he couldn't run far. The knight and remaining heroes were trapped in the cave, and she never got along with the main character anyway. She offered to help them capture him. Seeing her walk in willingly, the soldiers didn't panic. Even if they couldn't catch the hero, getting the glasses girl would still be worth it. Then, just 2.5 minutes into their walk, the soldiers launched a surprise attack on her. Welcome back! As the soldiers prepared to return to their country and report, the main character cleverly disguised himself using one of the dead soldiers, pretending to be a captured heretic, and successfully rescued the 3 captives from under their noses. Once the soldiers returned and realized what had happened, they would surely place all the blame on the hero, and it wouldn't implicate the knight's country at all. With the 3 civilians saved, their goal had finally been reached. Watching how calmly the main character had killed the soldiers, the glasses girl couldn't help but ask, "What do we mean to you? The 3 of us?" He looked confused. "What? For example," she continued, "if Bass fell from a cliff and the weight of the other passengers shifted the balance and everyone was going to die, would you still save him?" Her voice trembled slightly. "This is why I ran into you by chance. Even if one person disappears, it's as if nothing changes. Sometimes you forget your own fate. In a game, a character's destiny doesn't really matter. That's what it means to have no fate at all."